From Lagos, the nation's commercial capital, this is the news at 10, live from Channels Television. Reported tonight,
Ijoma Oyato.
Hello and welcome. Tonight, House of Representatives divided over whether the executive should be summoned to explain the $9.3 million arms deal. Supreme Court of Nigeria to decide dispute between the state and the federal government on the transfer of $1 billion from excess crude account. The Nigerian military denies statements that the Chibok girls have been freed. And US and allies launch first airstrikes against ISIS. President Obama says fight is not America's alone.
Business News tonight, Minister of Communication Technology Omobola Johnson asked banking institutions to simplify the use of electronic commerce for low-income earners in the country. While in sports news, after Portugal's dismal start to the Euro 2016 qualifiers, Fernando Santos succeeds Paulo Bento as Portugal manager.
The Nigerian military has denied reports that the abducted girls, that's the Chibok girls, have been released. Military spokesman Major General Chris Olukolade told Channels Television that he was misrepresented by the BBC. According to Major General Olukolade, no statement was ever made claiming the girls have been released, as I only responded to inquiries seeking us to confirm if it was true that they had been released. And I said, I saw 2 buses drive into Melari Barracks in Maiduguri under escort, and I needed to confirm. But surprisingly, the BBC and 2 other online media broke the story, which did not emanate from me, end of quote. Although the BBC had retracted the story, saying the Nigerian army backtracks on Chibok girls' release, the military spokesman says the action of the media organization is unacceptable. More than 200 girls were seized by Boko Haram fighters from a boarding school in northeastern Borno State. Protests were organized under the hashtag #BringBackOurGirls, calling on the authorities to free the girls who had gone to school in Chibok from surrounding areas to take their final year exams. Now, it was a heated debate on the floor of the House of Representatives today as the majority and minority political parties openly disagreed over whether or not the executive has a case to answer over the impounded private jet in South Africa said to be carrying $9.3 million. Opposition lawmakers believe the federal government has some explaining to do and are urging them not to sweep the matter under the carpet. Our correspondent Lanre Lasisi reports.
Of urgent importance.
The motion was brought up on the need to investigate the attempt to smuggle $9.3 million into South Africa. The mover of the motion said the transaction raises a lot of concern.
$9.3 million cash into South Africa, packed in 3 suitcases, and claims that the money was meant for buying arms for the Nigerian intelligence services. Revenue services seize the money, which is now being held at the country central bank, while police are currently investigating the matter as the money detained was undisclosed, undeclared, and above the prescribed legal limit of South Africa.
The Speaker, however, took this position on the matter and put it to a vote.
I'll put the question on this motion because I've said we're not going to debate it for reasons cited by Honorable Kau. We'll not debate it, so I just put the question. If the motion is carried, we'll refer it to the appropriate committees. My dear colleagues, those amendments those in favor of this motion, say aye. Those against, say nay. Then let's have it.
This led to a walkout by opposition lawmakers. Speaking to journalists, they explained their position.
For us as a people and for us as lawmakers,
We find this as unacceptable. Yes. We find this as unethical. Yes. We find this as illegitimate. Correct. And in our view, it is an illegal transaction. Correct. Nigerian government or the Nigerian people an explanation as to what that source of money come from, and for the real purpose for which it was made.
They also questioned the decision of the Speaker not to allow a debate on the matter. Their position, however, was disputed by the Deputy Majority Leader.
But security issues such as this one, this is not even a security matter. This is a matter of stealing, a matter of corruption, a matter of money laundering, and there is nothing sacrosanct from it being debated. I want to assure you that the reason they did not allow for debate for this matter is because they have no defense for what has happened.
There was no justification for them to walk out today because the Speaker followed all the necessary procedures as is guided by the House rule. I stand to be corrected.
The Deputy Majority Leader said considering the motion would have amounted to a waste of parliamentary time.
We play cheap politics. If you see clearly, what did we go to South Africa to do? Purely to procure arms. Was able to acquire his nuclear warfare. It is an acceptable principle that you either go through the black market or you go through the conventional means. Now you have seen the challenges we are having today in respect of procuring arms from America and even the European countries, even down to even the Far East. Do we sit down and allow some hoodlums to kill our citizens?
The opposition lawmakers say this matter is far from over. They say Nigerians should demand an explanation, while they, the lawmakers, will also try to reintroduce the matter on the floor of the House of Representatives. Lanre Lasese, Channels Television News.
Well, it was a chaotic situation today at the entrance of the Rivers State High Court as security operatives and those opposed to the return of Daisy Okocha as the state's chief judge clashed. Trouble started when the police attempted to open up the court for her to resume duties, and the group resisted it. Our Rivers State correspondent Emmanuel Irei reports.
It is a lockdown. Police barricades the gates of the Rivers State High Court, stopping all movement in or out of the premises. Angry youths stage a protest as more police vans arrive. The grouse is that the police forcefully opened the gates to allow Justice Daisy Okocha to hold a meeting with judges in the state in spite of an ongoing judiciary workers' strike. The Port Harcourt City chairman tells journalists that no one will be allowed to hold a meeting there illegally.
When I got in, I asked what is going on. They said that some unknown persons want to hold meeting. And while I was here, I had to call the policeman that is here, his attention, and ask him who are the people that wants to have meeting here. He said if I'm for the meeting, I should go in. So consequent of that, I said there shouldn't be meeting because the members of the judiciary staff are on strike. And there is no information whatsoever. And most I'm a lawyer that this place is open for the normal business of the day. And that is why you see these young men that are gathered here in a peaceful situation.
But while that was going on, the Commissioner of Police leads a team to the scene. And the crowd is dispersed with tear gas. In reaction, the Commissioner of Information tells journalists that the action of the Commissioner of Police supports earlier reports that is in the state to act out a script.
The Rivers State government is worried that this is just the beginning in a series of planned unprovoked attacks on the government and people of Rivers State.
Some say the drama may just be unfolding. It is unclear in what capacity Justice Daisy Okocha held a meeting with judges in the state. But what is clear is that the judicial crisis in Rivers State is far from over. Emmanuel Irei, Channels Television News.
The Supreme Court today fixed January the 26th, 2015 for definite hearing of a case instituted by the 36 states of the Federation challenging the legality of the excess crude account and the decision to transfer $1 billion from the account to the Sovereign Wealth Fund. The Apex Court panel, led by Justice Muhammad Mahmood, ruled that the case, which was to come up for hearing, was not ready to be heard, as vital documents and court processes were not available in court. Justice Mahmood explains that in order to hear the case, it's necessary for the legal counsel to furnish the registrar of the court with all the processes filed in the case. The 36 states governors instituted the case in 2008, and several attempts by the courts to get parties to settle out of court have proved abortive. Well, in other matters in court, reactions have continued to trail the judgment of the Supreme Court, which upheld the election of Governor Willie Obiano as the validly elected governor of Anambra State. Senator Chris Ngige, who contested the election under the All Progressive Congress, says even though he's not comfortable with the ruling, he's bound by the judgment since it was given by the highest court in the land. He, however, made a case for the amendment of the Electoral Act to make provision for the burden of proof to rest with the Independent National Electoral Commission. According to him, the practice of the appellant proving its case will only continue to allow for injustice.
For me, this election matter has ended here on earth, and Chief Willie Obiano has been pronounced governor of Anambra State, and I'm a law-abiding citizen. We will congratulate him now, and I hereby congratulate him and urge the people of Anambra State to cooperate with him, give him maximum support so that he can succeed. Because if he succeeds, all of us have succeeded, and the people will be happier for it. If he doesn't, then the people will continue having problems and government by advert and propaganda, which is not what I wish my people to have. I am in full support of the Justice Mohammed Owei's report or recommendation in the report that the onus of proof.
And in part two, after the break, Senate said it will investigate the cause of the synagogue building collapse. That's in a moment. Do join us again.